Everybody, JCB here at the Awesomist, and you're watching some pretty terrible video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the RCA Voyager Pro tablet. Now you may be wondering why I'm going to be reviewing a tablet you've probably never even heard of, and that's because it's only $45, and yet it actually sounds like it might be pretty good. I mean, a tablet this cheap either has to be a total piece of crap or one of those diamonds in the rough products that I stumble upon now and then. Now there is a newer, nearly identical version that is also $45, but if you can find the older one, I would recommend you buy that instead. In addition to running Android 5.0, which was unheard of in 2015 when this tablet was first released, it also sports 16 gigabytes of storage and a 4-core processor, which is beefier than you could typically find in these lower-end tablets. While this tablet is sold as a 16 gigabyte device, it does offer expandable memory. This is a 7-inch tablet, which is typical of the convergence era we had a few years ago when smartphones were starting to get larger and tablets were starting to get smaller. So what's so special about this thing, especially when there was a newer version available, not to mention a million other cheap, crappy Android tablets on the market? Why review this one? Well, it's a little different than the common garbage you can get for $45. This is higher end garbage. First off, when comparing the specs of this tablet to its newer replacement model, you'll notice they're basically the exact same piece of technology. They both have 1 gig of RAM, 16 gigs of storage. They both have that weird 1024 by 600 resolution, the same webcam, the same battery life, the same weight. But check this out. The newer version of this tablet features a 1.2 gigahertz processor, while the older version has a 1.3 gigahertz processor. Newer product, same price, lower specs? Anyway, how does this thing perform? Well, like most customized versions of Android, the interface is a little clunky, especially when you compare it to today's higher-end mobile devices. Though one aspect stood out to me as odd. Rotating the screen causes the orientation to flip like any other device, but there is this little bit of lag between when you turn the tablet and when the screen flips. So I pulled out my Galaxy S7, and to my surprise, it has that same sort of stutter. And why is that? In 2017, we have plenty of apps that will follow the rotation of the phone perfectly and fluidly. So why is it that when we go from portrait mode to landscape mode in most apps, it still does this clunky flip animation? But clunky user interface issues aside, this tablet's power under the hood really does show in some cases. Watching videos on YouTube, for instance, is fluid and easy. And even though the screen's resolution was never meant to support it, the hardware has no issues processing 720 video, which seems to be its limit. Most games run fine on this thing as well, though my one go-to test, Save the Day, wouldn't even start. This is an HTML5 game and it wouldn't run in the Chrome browser. You might remember my Chromebook review in which I tested this same game and it ran pretty well, but this thing continued to disappoint even after closing Chrome. Which brings me to another downside of this product, the sound. The only speaker on this device is on the back of the tablet, which is kind of weird because you never actually hear the speaker itself so much as the echo of it in the room. Now, like most tablets, this thing is designed to be used with headphones primarily, and when you do that, it sounds fine. Another thing that kind of bothered me was the fact that there was no charging indicator on the tablet. Most devices will have some kind of LED light. Usually it's red when it's charging, green when it's fully charged, or maybe the light will just turn off when it's fully charged. This thing has nothing. There's nothing to tell you that it's actually charged. In fact, the only way to know it's charging is to turn the tablet on and look at the battery indicator. This thing also comes pre-packaged with all kinds of useless, terrible bloatware pre-installed. All sorts of RCA apps, as well as a Walmart app. Thankfully, most of them can be uninstalled. It only has one camera and it's a front-facing camera, and as you saw at the beginning of this video, it's pretty bad. The frame rate is by far the biggest issue. Any sort of movement just looks terrible. And while we're on the subject of features and design, this thing is pretty thick. This is without the case on it. This is just a straight up tablet, and here is my phone, just as kind of a comparison. This thing is supposed to be half of an inch thick, and I'd say that's about right. So is this thing only good for watching YouTube videos in bed? Well, yeah, mostly. But I haven't really gotten to the case yet. The case is probably my favorite part. It transforms this thing from a cheap, crappy tablet to a cheap and small, crappy laptop. As I said, it's my favorite part of this entire tablet. Not only does it offer some protection against falls and bumps, but it features a full QWERTY keyboard and is actually designed pretty well. If you've ever used a Bluetooth keyboard in the past with a tablet, then you know it makes things like checking emails or searching for YouTube videos or, I don't know, writing a script for a YouTube channel while in bed so much easier. But the problem with Bluetooth devices in general, not just keyboards, but all Bluetooth devices, is that they're huge battery hogs. So it's nice that this tablet and case were designed to connect via this small port on the side. No Bluetooth needed. Just attach the tablet to this case and you have a full keyboard. So if you're wondering, yes, this tablet does support Bluetooth devices. So if you already have a Bluetooth keyboard or wireless headphones or speakers, all that stuff works fine. But there is something to be said about having a keyboard that is directly connected to the tablet. It saves a lot of battery life and it frees up your Bluetooth for other devices. This tablet's case also makes for a pretty good stand, so you don't have to hold it to watch videos, and it stays up pretty well when tapping the screen hard. But who is this thing really designed for? Well, I can actually think of a few scenarios in which a tablet like this would come in handy. The first is on trips. Let's say you're leaving the country and you don't want to pack your laptop or even an expensive tablet like an iPad because it could get lost or damaged. Instead, you can hook this thing up to the hotel or airport Wi-Fi and have some entertainment while you wait. And if something were to happen to it, well, it was 1/10 of the price of a more expensive device. This could also come in handy if you don't have an internet-enabled TV in your bedroom or you don't want to keep your spouse awake. If you don't have a Chromecast or a Roku or a Fire Stick or an Apple TV and you want to watch something before you fall asleep, this thing works great. The case makes it easy to watch videos without having to hold the device, and you can use headphones to keep the sound down so that other people can sleep. And finally, little kids. If you have a little kid who always wants to play with your phone, this is a great device for them. It'll play most mobile games without a problem, and you can install the YouTube Kids app so they can watch all their favorite cartoons and nonsense videos. So that's my review of the RCA Voyager Pro tablet. It's not really great for serious work or serious gaming, but as a low-cost entertainment device, it actually works out pretty well. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know down below, and if you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as that does help me out quite a bit. I release new videos every week, so until next time, keep being awesome. Rubber drop test from here on top of my roof. Basically, I'm gonna toss this little guy down there. And see how well it holds up to this kind of a drop. You ready? Don't try this at home.